On the day I was leaving for my vacation, I overheard my daughter-in-law talking to my son on the phone. She was in the living room of my house. I was in the hallway, gathering the last few things before heading out. She didn't know I could hear her. Perfect. While your mother is away, I'm going to go ahead and move all my furniture into her house. I froze. My purse almost slipped from my hands, but I didn't make a sound. I didn't say a word. I just kept listening. I already spoke to the movers, honey. They'll be here in 2 hours. We're going to start with the big room. That's going to be our master bedroom. We'll move your mom's stuff to the back room. It's smaller, but she doesn't need that much space. I felt the air escape my lungs. My own daughter-in-law. In my own house. Planning to steal my home while I was traveling. Don't worry. When she gets back, everything will be ready. We'll tell her it was a surprise, that we did it to take better care of her. You know how she is. She'll protest at first, but she'll get used to it. She always gets used to it. Those words hurt more than any physical blow. She always gets used to it. As if I were an old piece of furniture that could be moved around without permission. As if my opinion was worth nothing. As if this house that I bought with my husband 40 years ago wasn't mine. I clenched my fists. I breathed slowly, and I made the most important decision of my life. I was going to pretend. I was going to act as if I hadn't heard a single thing. I walked into the living room, acting naturally. Harper still had the phone pressed to her ear. When she saw me, she smiled. A fake smile. A smile I now understood perfectly. I'm heading out, sweetie. The Uber should be here any minute. Have a great trip, Mom. Get lots of rest. We'll keep an eye on the house. Keep an eye on the house. What cruel irony. Thanks, Harper. See you in a few days. I walked out of my house with my purse in hand. I closed the door gently. I walked toward the driveway. The car was already waiting. Now I am standing in front of the vehicle, with my purse in my right hand and my house keys in my left. The driver has already loaded my luggage into the trunk and is looking at me, waiting for me to get in. But I need one more second. A second to process what I just heard. A second to make sure this is real and not a nightmare. The driver cleared his throat. Ma'am, is everything okay? Did you forget something inside? I shook my head. I forced a smile. One of those smiles I have perfected over 67 years of life. Smiles that hide pain. Smiles that disguise rage. Smiles that protect secrets. No, I have everything. We can go. I got into the back seat. I closed the door gently. I looked toward my living room window one last time. Harper was still in there. She was probably already measuring the spaces. She was probably already deciding which of my furniture she was going to throw in the trash to make room for hers. The car pulled away. We advanced half a block, a full block, 2 blocks. And then I took my cell phone out of my purse. I searched my contacts for the name I needed. Benjamin Hayes, my attorney. The same one who helped me with the deed to the house when my husband died. The same one who advised me when Liam tried to convince me to put the property in both our names, just in case something happens to you, Mom. I dialed the number. I waited. 1 ring. 2 rings. Eleanor. Good morning. How are you? Benjamin. I need your help. Right now. It is urgent. My voice came out firmer than I expected. It didn't tremble. It didn't break. It was the voice of a woman who had just made a decision. Tell me what you need. My daughter-in-law is in my house right now, planning to move in without my authorization. I heard everything. She is bringing a moving truck in less than 2 hours. I need you to take immediate legal action. I need you to protect my property. And I need you to do it before it is too late. There was silence on the other end of the line. But it wasn't a silence of hesitation. It was the silence of someone thinking fast. Of someone putting together a plan. Listen to me closely, Eleanor. I am going to make 3 calls. The first to a judge friend of mine who owes me a favor. The second to the police. The third to a trusted locksmith. In 3 hours your house will be legally and physically protected. But I need you to confirm something for me. Are you sure you want to do this? Because once we activate this process, there is no turning back. I looked out the car window. The streets of my neighborhood were passing by fast. The same streets I had traveled for 40 years. The same streets where I raised my son. The same streets where I walked hand in hand with my husband. The same streets where I built my life. I am completely sure, Benjamin. Do what you have to do. Perfect. Keep your phone on. I will be updating you on every step. And Eleanor, you did the right thing calling me. I hung up the phone. I put it away in my purse. I took a deep breath for the first time in the last 10 minutes. The driver was watching me through the rearview mirror. I think he heard part of the conversation, but he didn't say anything. He just kept driving. I looked straight ahead, toward the highway that would take me to the airport, toward the trip I had planned for months, a trip that didn't matter to me as much as it did an hour ago, because now the only thing that mattered was taking back what was mine. My phone vibrated. A text from Benjamin. First call made. The judge is preparing a property protection order. Second call in. Process. The police will be at your residence in 90 minutes. Third call made. Locksmith confirmed for lock change. Everything is under control, Eleanor. Breathe easy. I read the message twice, 3 times, and then something strange happened. I smiled. But this time, it wasn't a fake smile. It wasn't one of those smiles that hide pain. It was a real smile. A smile of power. A smile of a woman who just discovered she still has the strength to defend what is hers. Because Harper made a mistake. A huge mistake. She thought I was weak. She thought I was easy to manipulate. She thought she could walk into my house as if it were hers and reorganize my life as if I didn't exist. But she was wrong. I am Eleanor Vance. I am 67 years old. I am a widow. I am a mother. I am the owner of my own house. And nobody, absolutely nobody, is going to take what is mine without a fight. The car kept moving. I kept looking out the window. But my mind was already back at my house, imagining Harper's face when the police rang the doorbell. Imagining her surprise, her shame, her defeat, and for the first time in a long time, I felt something I had forgotten. I felt control. I felt power. I felt that my life belonged to me again. 3 hours later, my phone rang again. It was Benjamin. Eleanor, everything went exactly as we planned. What happened? The police arrived at your house 20 minutes ago. Harper had already started the move. She had a truck parked in the driveway. 2 men were unloading furniture. When the officers identified themselves, she tried to say she had your permission, but I had already sent them a copy of the property documents. I showed them that the house is solely in your name, and I explained that there was a prior report for attempted illegal occupation. My heart was beating so fast I thought it was going to burst. And then? Then the officers asked her to stop the move immediately. Harper got hysterical. She started screaming that she was the daughter-in-law, that she had rights, that you had given her verbal permission. But the neighbors came out, and several of them confirmed that they never saw you give any authorization. That, in fact, they saw you leave a few hours ago with your luggage for your trip. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The neighbors defended me. Exactly. And when Harper realized she had no way out, she tried to call Liam, but he didn't answer. I imagine he was working and didn't want to get involved directly. Coward. That word hurt, because it was true. My son was a coward. He let his wife do the dirty work while he kept his hands clean. What happened next, Benjamin? The police ordered her to remove all the furniture she had already brought in. They gave her 30 minutes. She cried. She begged. But orders are orders. The movers had to load everything back up, and when they finished, the officers warned her that if she tried to return without your express written authorization, she would face trespassing charges. They arrested her. It wasn't necessary. But the complaint was filed. And Eleanor, there is something else. Tell me. The neighbors applauded when she left. I know many of you reading this right now understand exactly what I am feeling. I know there are women out there who have gone through something similar. Women who gave everything for their children. Women who worked until they were exhausted to put a roof over their heads. Women who sacrificed their own dreams so they could fulfill theirs. And women who, in the end, were treated as if they were worth nothing. My name is Eleanor Vance. I am 67 years old. I was born in a small town where women of my generation learned that a mother's value is measured by how much she is capable of enduring in silence. We were taught to endure, to forgive, to turn the other cheek, to smile even though we are dying inside. They told us that a good mother never abandons her children, that a good mother always forgives, that a good mother sacrifices herself until her last breath. But no one taught us that we also have the right to defend ourselves. No one told us that a mother's love doesn't mean being trampled on. No one explained to us that we can love our children and at the same time set boundaries for them. Because for years, I believed that if I said no to Liam, it meant I was a bad mother. I believed that if I didn't give in to his requests, I was rejecting him. I believed my job was to make his life easier, even if that meant making mine harder. And let me tell you something. That belief almost destroyed me. Now I am sitting in the airport waiting area. My flight leaves in 2 hours, but I can't concentrate on anything other than my phone, waiting for news, waiting for confirmations, waiting to know that my house is safe. People pass by me dragging suitcases, families with children, couples holding hands, businessmen checking their laptops. Everyone has their own lives, their own problems, their own stories. And none of them know that the older woman sitting in the corner chair has just started a silent war against her own family. Because that is what it is, a war. And even though there are no weapons or blood, it is just as painful. Maybe more so, because when your enemy is someone who came from your own body, the pain is different. It is deep. It is intimate. It is the kind of pain that makes you question everything you thought you knew about love and family. I look at my phone again. 10 minutes have passed since I spoke to Benjamin. 10 minutes that feel like 10 hours. I wonder what is happening at my house right now. I wonder if Harper has realized she made a mistake. I wonder if Liam already knows what I did. I wonder if he hates me. And I am surprised to realize that this last question doesn't hurt as much as it should. Because something changed in me when I heard that conversation. Something broke, but not in a bad way. It was like breaking a cage. Yes, there is destruction. But there is also freedom. An older woman sits next to me. She must be about my age, maybe a little older. She has completely white hair pulled back in an elegant bun. She is wearing a simple but well-pressed dress. And when she looks at me, she smiles with that smile that only women of our generation know how to give. That smile that says, I have lived too. I have suffered too. I also know what it is to carry the world on your shoulders. Traveling alone? She asks me. I nod. Me too. It is the first time in 40 years that I am traveling without my husband. He passed away 6 months ago. I am so sorry. Thank you, dear. But you know something. Even though I miss him every day, I also discovered that I can do things on my own, that I don't need anyone's permission to live my life, that at this age we still have the right to be happy. Her words hit me in the chest. Because she is right. We have the right to be happy. Even if that happiness means disappointing the people who expect us to keep sacrificing ourselves for them. Do you have children? I ask her. 3. 2 daughters and a son. The girls are wonderful. They call me every day. They visit me. They include me in their lives. But my son. She pauses for a long moment. My son thinks that because he is a man and because he is the youngest, he has a right to more. A right to my house. A right to my money. A right to my time. And for years, I allowed it. Until one day I realized that he was never going to be satisfied, that he was always going to want more, and that if I didn't set a limit, I was going to end up with nothing. I stare at her. It is as if I were listening to my own story coming out of another person's mouth. What did you do? I told him no. Simple as that. I told him my house was mine, that my money was mine, and that if he wanted something in life, he would have to work for it, just like his sisters did. He got angry. He screamed at me. He told me horrible things, but I held my ground. And do you know what happened after 6 months of not speaking to me? He came back, humbler, more mature, and he asked for forgiveness. And you forgave him. I forgave him. But I didn't forget, and the boundaries are still there. Because forgiveness doesn't mean being naive again. Forgiveness doesn't mean letting them trample you again. Forgiveness means letting go of the grudge but keeping your dignity. Those words stay with me. Letting go of the grudge but keeping your dignity. The woman stands up. She picks up her small handbag. That is my flight, dear. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I don't know what situation you are going through, but I can see in your eyes that it is something important. I just want to tell you one thing. You matter.